Thank you for tuning in for Devos here today. And all this week, I'm speaking on for you to choose life. Now, as I've been saying each day, I don't want you listening to all that old noise that you've had in your head before. Don't listen to those negative thoughts. Don't listen to yourself. I want you to speak to yourself. Now, let's go back to our theme verse here again. The bottom line is this, Deuteronomy 30, verse 19. We've been looking at this all week, but let's go near the end here. He said, and I've set before you, life and death and blessings and cursings. Okay, life is made up of good and bad, isn't it? He says, therefore, choose life. God wants you to choose life. God wants you to have real life, the real life in which he has planned for you to have. And you say, well, how do I do that? Well, this is what I want you to say to yourself this day. Now, this is kind of big, okay, so listen to this, because people say, I would do what God wants me to do, but I'm so confused. So what I talked yesterday about doing, like stepping up and doing something. Okay, well, we don't, so we miss out on this. Look here. Do what you know you should do, and then you will know what to do. Are you getting that? Okay, so what that means is this. I should do all the right things I know I should do. I should be going to church. I should be living for God. I should be reading my Bible. We should be having our devotions and praying to the Lord. Okay, but then when you start towards a goal on something, like let's say you're going to go to school. You say, well, I think I'm going to school for this. Well, get started. But a lot of you don't get started towards that goal because you can't see everything. Like you don't understand every step you're supposed to take. So you say, well, I'm not going to do it. That would be like us saying, well, we're not going to build a church because, we don't know what we're going to do down the road, So what you have to do what you know you should do. Just get started, and then you'll know what to do. I'm telling you, that's when the Spirit of God comes down upon you, and he shows you, and he opens your eyes, and he opens up doors, and he lets you see things that you didn't know before. And that is how you're blessed. And that's what I want you to do. Okay, there's a big verse, but look with me. Deuteronomy 30, verse 16. I want to let you know, even though this is in the Old Testament, this is still for us today. God says, I command you this day to love the Lord thy God. You say, oh, I like that. To walk in his ways. Okay, we're still okay with that. And to keep his commandments. That means you're to obey him. And his statutes and his judgments. That means to obey what he tells you in his word. He says that thou mayest live. Do you hear that? He says, choose life. He says, I want you to obey me, live in obedience, so that you could experience real life, joyful life. Look here, and multiply. That's what life is all about. It just gets bigger and bigger, and you're producing, but only God can do that for you. And it says, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. Look here. He has a piece of land. He has a house. He has finances. He has a job. He wants you to go and possess that. But listen, it all comes down to obedience, obeying him. Now, in our world today, and so a lot of our modern churches, they don't want to hear this. Listen, don't listen to them. I want you to listen to God, okay? Where do you need to obey God in your own personal life here today? Now, when you are doing what God tells you to do and you're being obedient, in the midst of your obedience, he shows you what to do. That gets back to our statement that you do what you know you're supposed to be doing, and then you'll know what to do. So as I'm obeying God, then he'll clarify to me what I'm supposed to be doing. But a lot of people don't get past this thing on obedience. Obedience leads you into a domino effect. You start obeying him in this area, that area, you start tithing, you start loving, you start forgiving, and then all of a sudden, you start getting knowledge of personal things that you're supposed to do. Now, look with me in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 20. It says that thou mayest love the Lord thy God and obey his voice. You see that? Love God and obey him. You can't separate it. Your faith is only real when there is obedience. When there is no obedience to God, there is no faith. When people say, I have faith, but they don't obey, there is no faith. Don't believe in that. Listen, as you go into prayer, I want you to say, this is going to be my day. This day is going to change everything. And the reason why, I'm going to do what I know that I should be doing. And then I'll know what to do.